you've got some great sponsors, FXR, Muck Off, I'm a comeback, that kind of stuff on your team. So you can answer this as much as far as you want or as little as you want, but I think our listeners would be interested in this. At the end of the year, look, ClubMX, the facility, is very profitable and doing very well. We know all the riders that go through there and the Supercross tracks and all that. That's making money. There's no doubt about it. But the race team itself, like, you're not making any money from the race team. I imagine you're dumping ClubMX facility money into the team to promote the ClubMX and all that. Or with your sponsors, are you walking away with some money in the pocket at the end of the year?
No way.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Just vaguely speaking, this year we operated on a $700,000 budget, and that's basically what we raised in sponsorship funding, and then ClubMX itself will put in about 300 of that. So.
Okay.
It's growing, but also club's been growing too. Like our Supercross program last year was insane. We had 16 pro guys here training, and we got 4 Supercross tracks. They complement each other really well. Star is spending a lot of money to have their own facility in house and do their own training program. Well, we're on the opposite. They're trying to catch up to us on that angle, but we're trying to catch up to them on the other side. So I think they complement each other really well.
So 300, you're at $1 million budget. ClubMX is 3 and sponsors are 7-ish? Or 7 is everything?
No, Club adds 300.
Yeah, Club adds 300.
We're just shy of $1 million.
Right. So and dude, right now too, by the way, the travel is just crushing you like it is me too. Travel is just insane.
And what a year that we got the old Geico truck, and we were just tickled to death about this thing. New rig, we don't have to worry about nothing.
Right.
From the minute we put that thing on the road, we have nothing but troubles. And what a year to be running around getting 4 miles a gallon.
Oh, I know, right?
We can't figure out how to fix it.
The airplane flights and the hotels. It's just, you got to fly everybody there. It's expensive to run a team.
Yeah,
yep.
It is. And it started off, me and Greg Chidge, he's our crew chief, great Marchbanks mechanic. But me and him started this together. It was just sort of a side gig, a Friday through Sunday, and that was our first year racing on the KTMs. And it's kind of, I'm super pumped that he's still every bit a part of it, and he's been a major factor. But now that our staff is growing and more mechanics, it's hard to even fathom these other teams, the money they spend, because we're still doing it on a very small level, spending the money we're spending.
Yeah, for myself, when I was there, your job is working with these riders, and you're putting them through the programs and all of that. And then you have this race team logistics. I don't know how you must be stretched pretty thin to try to make sure the facility and all the decisions on the facility are being done right. And then you have this race team also, Wow, it's a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, it started off just a hobby, but I just hope, people can – I just hope I can relate to some people out there that, didn't have the moto background, that just want to chase a dream and love dirt bikes. At the end of the day, I just really, really love dirt bikes. Yeah. I want to be around it in every way, shape, or form. So to go racing to get up early in the morning and book flights and do whatever I need to do for the team, it's not much of a burden, man. I love being around dirt bikes.
Yeah. No, you'd have to be where you're at. Well, we got a phone call for you here, Brandon, from it is Will. Will, welcome to the Pulp Show. What's your question for Brandon Haas?
So, I'm a big fan of the team and Garrett Marchbanks. So if Garrett were not riding dirt bikes, could he be a starting NFL linebacker?
Well, he's 195 pounds, big for motocross, but I don't think big enough for NFL. But he's a tough dude.
Yeah. He could take a lot of riders out there for sure. He's a big guy. Yeah. That's why maybe the 450.
He's burly.
Yeah, he's burly for sure. All right, Will. Thanks for the call, man. Thank you. Starling, for you, privateer guy, running your own van, driving to the races, what did it cost you to do Supercross?
I had this conversation with Moran's a couple weeks ago. I think for just me, this was no flights, nothing. Yeah. I want to say with everything, it was somewhere around $65,000.
Okay.
Fuel was outrageous.
Yeah.
My van gets terrible gas mileage. But that's hotels and everything. It's extremely expensive.
Right.
It's really expensive. Now it's just one guy. I didn't pay any personnel because couldn't get flights for anyone. I had different mechanic, pretty much anyone that was in the area. My buddy JC flew in a couple of times. Michael flew in a couple of times, and that was on their own dime. It's expensive. But 450 program, you got to do all of them. and you got to have a good bike.
Yep.
You can't just kind of go out there and wiggle it,
Brandon, talking about the expenses, the Nationals are very expensive. Parts, travel, all that stuff. Does the World Supercross appeal to you, or is that something that, FXR and Yamaha don't want to pay you to do? Is it something that you may look at? What's your thoughts on the World Supercross?
I really thought heavily about it. I did reach out to those guys and we had conversations. I think the biggest thing for us is we just kind of started this new chapter with Muck-Off and FXR, and Muck-Off switched teams to come with us, and honestly FXR kind of shifted some things around to give us more.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it wasn't the appropriate time to maybe go down that path, and I would have liked to think that we could have took advantage of it and fielded a team, because we have access to so many good riders that. But then I was also in the back of my mind, like we've had this effort to downscale. We did 6 riders last year, sometimes 7, and to give these guys a real shot at the level they need, and the riders that we're going to have on the roster next year. And that's not disrespect at all to these guys, but for Jeremy and Garrett and Phil and Enzo or whoever it is, we do have to tighten up our program. So it kind of was just like too much to take on. But at the end of the day, I have the utmost respect for them guys putting up the money they're putting up to help teams and kind of take a different vision. Outdoors is really tough, like not just logistically and wearing bikes out, but it's sometimes hard to make sense of it. Supercross, I would say overall in the grand scheme of things, we wouldn't raise much less money to not do outdoors. It's 70-80% of this is based on Supercross. So from a funding team standpoint, it's really hard for us to generate revenue for outdoors. And racing 250F is not the cheapest thing to do,
No, for sure.
I'm not so mad that Garrett's on a 450, even though I think it was within his best interest. I'm not bummed about it.
So if you went to your big guys, and said, "Hey, I don't want to do outdoors," you're not getting a 50% cut. Only
Same with me.
Right.
20 maybe.
Yeah. Right.
Not one sponsor said anything to me about doing outdoors. They were basically told me they wouldn't give me another $1 to go outdoors, and I was like, "So you guys are fine with Supercross only?" They said yes, and I said, "Me too."
Right. Yeah, I've heard that same things before, Brandon, from sponsors, that it's mostly Supercross based, for these teams. Yeah.
I mean, Garrett's done respectfully well, and we've gotten really nothing in exposure from it as far as TV time or anything sponsors are super pumped on. But there's also double the amount of riders out on the field as Supercross. So Supercross, you do well, you're going to get talked about, you're going to get some TV time, the sponsors get some love, and it's a show. So that's a tough game, man. But also motocross is such a high level of respect, and for the grind and sacrifice it takes, like it'd be hard for me not to go race motocross, even if it does mean it's not gonna return it. So I don't know, it's just one of those things.
So I talked to a team owner last year or something, and I said, "Tell me something that you deal with that you don't have time for, or that you